So Rachel, a long time since we've had a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Another great Kona performance. I know you've done 6th, 5th, 4th, 2nd. So
Yes,
only one
yeah.
more to go, but you must be pleased, if nothing else, with that consistency of 6 years now of really strong performances on the biggest day of the year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I kind of have more, especially in the last few years, kind of really built my year. Just not necessarily deliberately, but I haven't raced too much, so it's almost put a little bit more pressure on Kona. So it's been nice to kind of deliver a good performance when I get there, and getting on the podium wasn't what I wanted, but you can never be, if that's, I can't be too disappointed with it. Even though I am, like if I'm being objective, it was a solid day out there.
Yeah. And you've made a lot of progress. So I know when maybe the first year you got the 6th place. I remember speaking to you going back 4 or 5 years now. There was maybe a small element of did I get lucky or somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas now you can see in your persona, everything, you're a lot more confident with who you are as an athlete and the fact that you are of that level and you are worthy of believing that you can go and win them.
Yeah, definitely, and it's been a process. I think I definitely felt like I was kind of playing at being a professional in the first few years, and I felt like I didn't really belong. I felt a bit of an outsider, and I think the more time I've spent doing it and I've kind of got the results, and with the results comes confidence, which it took me a little while to get, and it meant that now I no longer think it's a fluke. I have a great deal of belief. I have moments where my confidence isn't great. I think that's any athlete, but I definitely don't feel like I'm kind of that kind of why am I here. I definitely feel much more comfortable and confident.
Yeah. You talked about being objective about Kona, and I'm sure you would have sat down with Dave and other people post-race and analysed it. In a sense, do you think there's almost maybe a little bit of it that got away slightly? Because if you look at your normal performance, your swim, I know you got battered around a bit, was maybe a little bit off of where it would have been, and certainly the first part of the run, it seemed, wasn't where you would normally be, and then overall you look at the end and you go, it was 2 minutes or something. There's always that slight frustration. It's inside, it's almost there.
That's the real frustration, and it did take me, I was really down on myself after the race because I felt the swim was a bit off par, but I haven't been swimming so well this year, and unfortunately I didn't put a good swim together on the day, and then the run, just been running better than ever in training, and when that doesn't translate, and I can't really understand why it didn't work on the race day, and that's racing, but it wouldn't have taken an out of the ordinary run. That's what's so frustrating. It would have taken something that wouldn't even be close to what I think I can do, but I had a bad run, and that happens in racing, and rather than, thankfully I've moved on from that stage, and it's actually a huge motivator for next year.
Yeah. And obviously during your pro career you've now moved and you're based full-time in the States. How has that sort of moved from England to being full-time in the US? Are you now fully integrated into that and feeling comfortable and at home as it were within that environment?
Yeah, I mean my boyfriend and I, Brett, we bought earlier this year, and we don't know how long we're going to be there, but it's just an amazing place to live, just with the mountains and the sunshine, and I miss a lot of things about being in the UK, so I don't know how permanent a move it's going to be, but for now we both really love it. It's great for training, and it's great for getting to, there's a fewer races in the US, but it's been good when I was looking for sponsors. Financially it kind of made sense as well, because there's more sponsorship opportunities in the US, but definitely now I feel ready to come back and do more races in Europe, because they're different and they're special, and I kind of don't want to lose that. I really enjoy doing that, so I think definitely the plan over the next couple of years is to do more races in Europe, continue racing in the US as well, but just work it out my season that I get to do both.
Yeah. And obviously we're here, you can see in the banner behind it, Challenge Bahrain. Last probably 2 or 3 years, you haven't focused so much, or maybe not had the opportunity to do as many sort of middle distance or 70.3s as perhaps you'd like. And do you think that there's maybe some untapped sort of either potential or maybe not had a chance to actually see what your scope is at that distance?
Yeah, and that's what I find pretty exciting about Bahrain, because I joked that it was going to be a boom or bust strategy, but I kind of very much see it's going to take a risk to win this race, and I don't feel like I really know what I can do at this distance. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to be racing really, really hard, because I think I have a tendency to revert to Ironman pace, and I do have a lot more top end. And next year I will be focusing on the 70.3 Worlds as well as Kona, because I do think that I can do very well at the distance, and it's kind of nice to have 2 different goals, and you can experiment a bit more with 70.3, where there's a lot of preparation goes into an Ironman, and you don't want to be blowing up at mile 5, because that's going to make it a very long day.
Yeah, and obviously with a great result at Kona, that all but guarantees your qualification for next year, but of course you've got to do an Ironman.
Yes,
and do you know yet as to where or when that might be to do that validation race?
At the moment I'm thinking of maybe Ironman Texas, just because I've got really good memories of that race. I had I think one of the best races of my career in 2013 there, so I'm kind of...
On a very hot day from what I remember.
Yeah, it was incredibly hot, so I just want to kind of go back and have another go, and it's pretty close, and it gives me enough time to kind of prepare without having to rush to prepare for the Ironman.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with Bahrain. By the time we see this interview, we'll know whether whether it was a boom or whether it was a bust. And you never know. Maybe 2015 we'll be able to complete the 6-5-4-3-2 and maybe add a one onto it.
Yes.
So good luck with that, Rachel.
Thank you. Thanks.